So here's your current month picture, right? So if you guys look at it, this was our June. We started overlap in July. I think maybe 4 weeks back, I mentioned 53.67 was the level that I'm interested in with the 3 MES, and that's pretty much done. We came here to June value area low, and we hit that. And right next to it, you have May value area high, which happens to be, and I'm going to get a bunch of drawings here. It happens to be the prior, I would say, 3-month balance right here. And you want to take note of that because it's a fairly important zone that we're in right now. So this was the zone we're breaking out of prior, right? And when you look at the volume, as we talked about here, there was really no uptick in volume when we were breaking out. We were aware of that it was pushing a low volume. We just need a confirmation once they crack with higher volume. And I think this right here, I think was your July 11th was the day where things started to go sideways, and then they cracked inside of June. And now we're kind of coming back here on the retest of this balance, right? So if you look at the volume here, right, you see the volume is pretty high on the right side, right? When you zoom in here a little bit, and if I was to extend these guys, you guys would be able to see, let's put 44. You guys can tell that there's some serious volume coming up here, right? So now that we are breaking lower, the key is, are the bulls going to show up at the levels where their prior breakout happened, right? And obviously, being that we are 53.65, I think we dipped below that a little bit, and we entered. I think we tapped May value area high on Friday. Let me check. Yeah, we tapped the May value area high here to a penny, and we held it. And I really don't know where we opened right now, but not really important overnight. Maybe there's a gap because of APAC is pretty much bleeding down. So I wouldn't be surprised if we follow the suit. But in terms of the weekly profiles and what we're looking at, right? So the monthly is out of picture, right? It's out of balance. We're trying to find the balance on the monthly. On the weekly time frame, which is this one here. I'm sorry, let me switch this to weekly. Come on. So out of monthly, we're retesting a major balance, and you guys see this little nice gap, the LVN that we left here behind. And there was no reason for, when we went up, we also had some gaps, tiny levels. Basically, we just came and killed that here. So if they're able to defend this, they might try to build some value here. It just depends how we play out. We have the May VPOC here a little bit below, and then we have some key levels that we identified. But on the weekly, I'm not showing. Maybe because I hit it.
We're at 53.05 right now.
Oh, wow. So we're below that.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's look at the weekly, what we just came out of, right? Let's see. So when you guys look at the weekly profile that we just finished here, I mean, it's a kind of quadruple distribution. 1, and you have mini one here, 2, and then you have 3 and 4 coming up here. So we popped here, we had the gap, and then we dumped. And now when you look at the key levels, well, if you're able to get away from this distribution where you have a little bit of single prints right here, so I would say if you're able to crack maybe 50 through 82.5, like right here, if you're able to auction above this, that'd be somewhat bullish, right? And I believe our value area for the day is like 2 points below that. So if you're able to crack above that, what would you guys target?
That gap?
Yeah, most likely we would be filling this gap and go all the way up to like 44, but this would be a tough little area to crack. So I would watch somewhere around here to start closing my longs. If they're able to open above and crack, let's say PD value area high, go above, then we could start a little spike and kind of short cover rally. But there was a lot of aggressive selling this past week, right? And I'll show you guys that on a daily time frame on the candles. You guys look at this volume, right? It looks pretty good, right? They've been actually picking up volume here aggressively. So it's not something to ignore. So tomorrow is open, and where we open is fairly important. If we can open this inside the value here, which would be pretty big ask, right? If they can come here between 45 and let's say 80, that's somewhat good because they're trying to hold that value. And then if the market becomes too short, we would get a basically same behavior that we had not too long ago when we had the B shape on this case here. And then if you guys recall, they gapped higher and a lot of people got bullish. Then we tapped, I believe, like 5602 or something, 5600. We lost the 85 level, which was super important, and they went lower. So now we want to see if they can, if the sellers are super aggressive, we should just continue lower. And you want to pay attention to the PDL right here. You want to know how are we behaving here as we're approaching the PDL. And I will definitely mark that level for tomorrow because it might be important for you guys
They
to
just
know.
lost 5,300, Shorty.
That's okay. That's just OVN. That means the market not short. And then below that, we have 52.97.5. Most likely that will be a bounce. And then a big spot here on the monthly would be here. So if you guys look at the prior month balance that I just talked about briefly, let me turn this to a monthly so you guys can see it. So you guys see this balance that we are in. So all I did is I grabbed this FVP and I dragged the POC all the way for the 3 months. So it goes all the way up to here, I believe, somewhere. Right here, it stops. I can make you even do this. And you see where the POC is for that, right? At 52.43. So, and there's a lot of areas for a potential spike. Like right now, you guys are talking about we're below the 5,300. Well, look, if they're below 5,300, I'll actually switch here so you guys can see it. Look where they are in terms of price. And now when this VPR comes in, they're here. Watch this level, for instance, right now, 52.87 or whatever this is. Like right here, they're most likely offering some kind of bounce here to capture some of these guys that were really short, and they could potentially bounce it to 315 from here. If they slice through this, not much to ask for. They're headed to 52.45-ish, give or take a few points. Okay, so that's on the table for tomorrow, right? Then below that, you have the May value area low and April value area high, which is about 10 points apart. That's a big zone, and you guys see it. It's a huge volume node. And the way they've been slicing through these nodes, I don't even know if this is big enough for them to hold. So now if you look here, right, when you zoom out a little bit, that node's the highest, and then below that you go all the way to 5,100, which would be pretty much like the the last node they have before something bad happens, because here the volume gets a little bit sporadic and these nodes open up. All right, so I'm talking about, you're talking about 4,700 and then you're talking about 4,500 and then you're going lower. But this would be, in terms of balances, right? This is a big balance that we came out of, basically that triggered all of this, right? If you guys recall it. And then we went higher, uptrend, we consolidated uptrend, and now you're back to this balance here. So not to say that they can't go to the bottom of this balance, but there's going to be some bounces in there. And most likely, I would say eventually that's what they're going to be targeting, is the bottom of this balance here of 4,900. If they're able to get a bounce out of this POC and get out again, that would be very bullish. And a lot of people might get shaken out by some of this POC that's coming in here. So I would definitely watch what they do between this level that I marked and then the POC itself. They really need to reclaim top of this range if they want to be somewhat bullish. Otherwise, they're going to be searching for some buyers, and they might not be here. When you think about how much we've been running since October, right? You're talking about 4,100 all the way to 5,700, 1,600 points. It wouldn't be hard for us to revisit the bottom as well if we can't hold this level right here. Okay. But for tomorrow, let me go back to RTH. I know they're dumping now, but not much I can do here. We have to reclaim 82.5, otherwise we're just going to continue down. And if the PDL that they obviously are below, if they can't reclaim it tomorrow, everything is going to be a short all the way to about this 52.40, call it 40 to 47 area. I'd watch that. And then if they lose that, we're looking at this. This should be the extreme, I would say, for this week. So they should be targeting, if this is the case, they should be stopping here and here. Okay. And here's your April. Here's your March, right? Your March value area is also here at 48, and then you have the value area low starting at 149 here as well for March. And then here's your April. And the reason why you're marking these is because these are the extremes on the monthly profile, and that's where other time frame participants typically show up. So that's why we have those on our charts. Okay. We are pretty much framing down across, like I would say, across every candle, right? Daily, weekly, everything's down. Here's your dailies, and if you go on the weeklies, you're framing down, right? Obviously 4 weeks now. And then on the monthly, we actually cleared a low, right? And we started framing down now. And the last candle here that tapped is a 52.46, which was our prior month balance here. Does everybody understand the bigger picture, what's on the table?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your yearly profile, just so you guys have it, right? So if you guys look at this, your yearly profile is pointing to what? What level do you think they want? This is a yearly value area high. 5,100 sounds reasonable, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really reasonable now. And in terms of big picture, right? They cracked here, they're coming back. They have some high volume nodes within the yearly profile that we just identified, like the 50. Here's the 11, and then you have some skinny belly here, 5170. But ultimately, I wouldn't be shocked if they're going for 5,100. And if they can bounce there, which they should, right, then they're ultimately targeting to test this 4866. And there's, at this time, right, you want to be careful how much capital you're releasing. On trend days, you don't need a lot of capital to catch a lot of points, guys. So you want to make more with less, unless you're 100% set up and it looks very good. You have a lot of confluence items to size up, but I prefer to use less to make more, right? So it's up to you guys how you play it, but I would suggest that you minimize that, because all of a sudden there could be news where the war ends and they flip this, script to buy algos, right? And if they start any rate cuts and stuff, you might get caught in the wrong position and your account's blown really, really quick, even if you have stop losses, right, with the lag.
Shorty, can you show me how you did the yearly,
Yeah.
how you get the yearly levels, please? Thank you.
So you have 8 months. You would go 8 months, and you would get a yearly profile. That's
Just because we're in August, but I mean, like for the years, like if I want all the levels for the previous years.
You can
How
do
do you?
12 months, and this would be a yearly profile now.
Oh, I
So
see.
your January, right? And here's your 22 to 23, and here's your 24 full year.
So PVP
Yep.
and
Go
daily.
Okay. If you go here, if you go under PVP, periodic volume profile, and then you'll get this. You click the settings, and you want to click 12 months, and then you would get that profile.
So it doesn't matter, like you have the daily on up there, the time frame.
No, there's just a candle. Yeah, that's just a candle.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So this is your yearly profile, and an NQ, it looks a little bit more horrific actually than on this one. And we'll check on. Oh my God, yeah. They are selling the sucker. Did they just drop it like 130 points moments ago? Wow, they did. Wow.
I'm dropping it like they bought it. They bought it crazy, remember?
Wow. All right. Well, 17.271 seems reasonable for NQ. 17.2 seems like the level that might be of interest here, guys. And our 2023, yeah, that wow. So another about 800 points on NQ to go. And I would watch this level right here, the yearly profile. That's pretty big there.
Yeah, this is some heavy selling right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're slowing down any. Okay, before we go on anywhere, does it make sense on ES? It seems like ES, of course, dumped quite a bit, and it would take a lot for us to re-trigger that. The 80 level, but let's see what they bring tomorrow. Otherwise, we're looking to go continue down. Any questions on ES? Any questions why I want a June value area low since 3 weeks ago?
Yep.
Okay.
I
So,
kind of wasn't around, so, or if you could recap, that'd be great. But if not, it's okay.
yeah, I can recap. I mean, it's yeah, I can do it on the monthly here.
Thank you.
So here's your, this is ES. So this was your June value area high that we were sitting right here. We basically popped above it, right? There was not a lot of volume. And then we came here, we dipped inside and then tried to bounce, dipped way inside. We filled that gap, bounced pretty much right to it, right? We hit the 85, which happened to be the breakout level, which was here, also the value area high. And look what happened since then. As soon as they showed the weakness that they're able to go below these POCs in June and they're retesting the value area high, this is typically set up where they're driving to the opposite extreme so they can sell off more at higher prices. And now when you look at it, this was the level that I was targeting, is because they failed to hold the value. If you're failing to hold any value at the extreme, what do you do typically? You're going to test the
The other extreme.
yeah, you're going to find buyers. And then in that sense, right, you have the May POC sitting here, and then you would have the May value area low. And it seems like, right, I mean, here there's a big node. If they're interested if they crack this level where we're pretty much dancing on right now, if they crack this guy right here, they're probably aiming to go all the way to 52.44 probably tomorrow. So that was the idea behind how we played it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that'll be it. I'll be live tomorrow. If you guys have questions or comments, shoot it over, and I'll see you guys in the morning.
Thank you, Shorty.
Have a good night. Thank you.
See you guys.
you.